Hey, hello, my name is Tiffany. Welcome to your yin class. Today we are doing some nice deep stretches. We are holding postures and asanas for 3 to 5 minutes. This class is really great if you are wanting to relax at the end of the day, if you have been exercising, working really hard, and want to target those connective tissues and fascia. So just all around a really nice, relaxing time. Cool. For today's practice, you might want some blocks. All good if you don't have any. Use some books. You might also want a bolster. If you do not have a bolster, you can also use a pillow or rolled up blanket. Yoga mat, yes, maybe. If not, just lots of space. All right? So when you're ready, I will meet you sitting up. Yeah, let's sit up. Okay. All right, so when you get to that soft landing place, start to close down the eyes, or maybe you have a soft gaze. Allow the shoulders to relax away from the ears, softening the muscles in the face. And start to observe each inhale and each exhale. Notice where each inhale begins, where each exhale begins. Notice each beginning and each ending. Start to focus your attention to your heart center. Notice if there's any messages or any communication here. And I'd like you to think about what you'd like out of this practice. Invite energy into the heart. You might take this in simply as energy, or it might be a light of any color. Take a nice big inhale through the nose. And exhale out of the nose, completely emptying out the lungs. On your next inhale, imagine that light or energy coming down towards the pelvic floor, the sacrum. And on your next exhale, the energy moves up the spine and towards the heart. Inhale, energy moves down. And exhale, energy moves up. Inhale down. And exhale up. From here, inhale, energy moves down. Pause at the top of the inhale, holding the breath. Allow the shoulders to relax, muscles in the face soften. And exhale, slow energy moves up. Inhale. Pause. And exhale. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Pause at the end of the exhale. Inhale, energy moves down. Pause. Exhale, energy moves up. Pause. Inhale, energy moves down. Pause. Exhale up. Pause. Take a full breath in. And release completely. Returning to your natural breath. And notice if there's any shift in energy, or if there's nothing at all. And you can slowly start to blink the eyes open, and we'll get into our first pose, which is child's pose. A few options for child's pose. You'll start in table on hands and knees. Separate the knees wide, big toes touch. From here, hips come all the way back onto the heels. Arms can be extended, or you can bring the arms underneath the torso and let the head come to one side and flipping halfway through. Next option is to place a bolster or pillow in front of you, and you'll simply lay the torso down onto the pillow or bolster. Arms can hug the bolster or pillow. You might add some height, so maybe stacking 1 or 2 blocks underneath the prop, and just finding this really lovely, cozy space where there is comfort and ease. Each inhale comes down into the pelvic floor, and notice that release on the exhale. And we'll be here for a couple of minutes. If your head is turned to the side, you can flip it to the other side. Start to deepen the breath. Moving super slowly. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Press yourself up. You can move the props out of the way just for a moment. And I invite you to find any movement that feels intuitive and good for you right now. So that might look like taking a few cat-cows, breathing in as you draw the belly down, flipping the tailbone up. And exhale, round through the spine, push the floor away. You can move through those two poses. You might find some spine rotations. You also might find a downward facing dog. It's whatever feels good for you. And whenever that feels complete, we'll come into our next pose. So bring the feet wide, bending the knees. You'll tilt the knees to the right side to begin. Start with the feet in and close to the body. From here, you're twisting to the right, away from the legs. You can do this without any props, so you can either stay on the hands, maybe come on to the forearms. Okay, if not, you can bring some blocks with you, resting the hands or forearms on the blocks, maybe stacking the bolster on top of the blocks, making a little tower. Bring the bolster or pillow behind you, long way, and then simply draping the torso over. And then you can also experiment with how close or far away the feet are. If you want more of a 90-90 angle, you might notice different sensation. So you can experiment with what works for you here. And really notice here if there is discomfort. And if you can soften and release with each breath. Notice if there is any pain, and if you need to back out a little bit. Nice and slow, start to make your way back up, pressing the torso, coming back through center, pressing the torso. What does that even mean? All right, tilting the knees to the other side, moving any props or blocks that you might need. We're twisting to the left this time, away from the legs. And then finding whichever variation works for you here. You might notice that it is a bit different on this side. You might need a little bit extra support or to take away. Once you arrive, start to notice those areas of tension, and if you can soften. And begin to slowly make your way back up, coming through center. For the counter pose, we'll take some windshield wipers. So you can come onto the hands, lean back, maybe come onto the forearms, and tilt the knees from one side to the other. Notice if there's any other movement that you'd like to take. Maybe you're taking some form of a twist on each side. Maybe circling the spine around the hips in a seated position. And then we will come into our second final pose. So the second last pose will be a reclined butterfly. So I will show you what that would look like without any props. So you'll come down onto the back with the knees bent, soles of the feet. Oh my God. Excuse me. Sorry. Soles of the feet on the mat. Draw the soles of the feet together. Knees will open up like a book. So this is the first variation. Second variation, you might have some support underneath the knees. So that might look like blocks or books, maybe pillows. And then another variation is with the bolster underneath your torso. Bolster or pillow or rolled up blanket. And maybe those props are underneath the knees. Once again, you might have to adjust the bolster, pillow, or blanket. The final variation is with the blocks underneath the bolster, like so. So you'll have the one closest to you on the lowest setting, and then the one furthest away from you on the middle setting. And then rest the bolster there, and simply lay down and separating the knees. You can separate the arms nice and wide. Let the shoulder blades and shoulders draw away from the ears, opening the chest. Take your time to close the knees back together, maybe using your hands to help you. And just pause here, taking a few breaths. When you're ready, rolling onto one side, making your way up into a seat just for a moment to find your counter pose. So that might look like windshield wipers once again. Maybe you're bending the knees and wrapping the arms around the backs of the thighs, bringing the forehead towards the legs. Maybe taking another forward fold, twisting, finding movement or finding more stillness. When you're feeling good and satisfied, we'll come into the final resting pose, which is Shavasana. And there are a few options for Shavasana. Moving any props out of the way. You know what, like let your hair out. Let it put on some socks, get a blanket. We want to be super cozy for Shavasana, especially after a yin session. So, coming down onto the back, you might bring blocks, bolster, blanket, or pillow underneath the knees. This is really nice if you have some tension in the low back. You might fully bend the knees, soles of the feet on the mat. Allow the knees to come inward, resting on each other. You can also lie down on your side, your belly. You might find a seated meditation as well. Once you're nice and settled, comfy and cozy, take a full body scan. Invite the entire body to relax. Start to find some movement in the fingers and toes, in the wrists and the ankles. Finding a full body stretch. Extending the arms overhead, extending the legs down the mat, pointing the toes, maybe wiggling the hips side to side. Finding any movement here, make it weird. Rolling on to the side, pausing on your side for a moment. Taking this time to nurture yourself in this moment of ending and beginning again. When you're ready, coming up into that comfortable seat. On an inhale, arms reach up to the sky. Exhale, palms together at heart center, spreading the fingers wide. Bring the chin to the chest. Take this moment to acknowledge what it took to get here today. To close off, we take a full breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.